Welcome back to another deep dive on Bee as a Butterfly. Today, we're kicking off a two-part series on CCD, Canine Cognitive Dysfunction. That's right, a listener sent in a stack of sources, articles, and research all about this condition. So our mission is to dive into the material, figure out what's really happening when a dog's mind starts aging, and pull out the most practical takeaways. What we're aiming for is simple: understand the condition, spot the signs, and know how to best help. So let's unpack this: CCD, CDS, and what they mean. The sources use two terms pretty interchangeably: Canine Cognitive Dysfunction, CCD, Cognitive Dysfunction Syndrome, CDS. One expert argued CDS might be the better term. Why? Because we mainly see this condition in domestic dogs, and there's not solid evidence yet that wild canines like wolves or coyotes get it the same way. And here's the big headline: the sources describe CDS as the dog equivalent of Alzheimer's disease in humans. We're talking about a condition that hits a dog's behavior, memory, and learning abilities, their cognition. And it's not rare. The stats are actually kind of shocking. For dogs 11 to 12 years old, about 28% already show at least one sign. For dogs over 15 years, that number jumps to 68%. So this is a very common challenge as dogs age. What's happening in the brain? The sources say it's age-related changes in the brain itself, specifically the neurons. These are the brain's communication cells, and when they start breaking down, the dog's ability to process and respond to information declines. There are striking parallels to human Alzheimer's. Oxidative damage in the cells, think of it like rusting inside the brain. Poor blood flow, decreased oxygen and energy use, buildup of toxic proteins like tau and amyloid, same as in humans. This damage especially impacts the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. How do we help? The research outlines a super handy acronym, DISHA, L. This acronym helps owners remember the main signs. D, disorientation. Dogs seem lost in familiar places, get stuck behind furniture, or go to the wrong side of a door. I, changes in interactions. They may become clingy, or the opposite, withdrawn. S, sleep-wake cycle disturbances. Sleeping more during the day, restless or agitated at night. We'll talk more about this in part 2. H, house soiling. A dog that's been house-trained may suddenly start having accidents inside or simply unable to hold. A, activity changes, pacing restlessly or losing interest in walks and play. A, anxiety, new fears like thunderstorms, being left alone, or strange noises. L, learning and memory, forgetting familiar commands, routines, or struggling with new tasks. When to suspect CDS? The signs often appear around age 9 and progress slowly over time. But here's a key point. CDS is a diagnosis of exclusion. Vets have to rule out other health problems first, like arthritis, infections, or even hearing loss, which can mimic these signs. So if you're noticing these changes, get a vet check first. That's step 1. Unfortunately, this is where we will need to end today's podcast. In part 2, we'll dive into how to help. Managing CDS with medication, diet, supplements, enrichment strategies, and practical tips for keeping your dog happy and comfortable. Thanks for joining us for this first half. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as this helps the algorithm to reach others that needs to get this information. And be sure to tune in for part 2. See you soon!